Well, welcome to the channel, Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, Theologist at Cromer, Northern Beaches, New South Wales, Australia. Well, I've just got out of a rehab session for my body and probably my mind, aquatic. You've got to keep up your self-maintenance so that you run at what's possibly as optimum as you can. I've got 6 screws in that ankle. I have had for nearly 5 years now, 4.5 years. Unless there's a miracle, it's probably improved as much as it will, which is at a 6-7 pain threshold, but that's all right. You've got to push through. You've just got to push through. Some 25-30 years ago now, I had my first adult instance with a covert narcissist in a relationship, intimate relationship. I was with this person for 7 or 8 years, and they started the relationship very well, as they do. They love bomb, run around after you, set a precedent that they're going to be unable to keep, and everything gets on track and everything's going along smooth. And then all of a sudden, the breakdowns begin, micro-incremental breakdowns that are very odd, very negligent, and towards individuality. Now, I've heard Professor Sam Vaknin talk about individuation, separation relative to a man who doesn't separate from his mother, so he goes through that scenario in his relationships until he separates from the relationship. And that subconsciously gives him the sense that he has separated from his mother by way of a played out scenario through an intimate relationship, which leaves the other person pretty well wrecked. I believe this works with females as well, where they haven't individuated or separated from the father. And whether the father's dead or alive doesn't matter, they still play this out through their relationships. And of course, the man at the other end ends up being discarded, and that gives them the sense that they have individuated and separated from their father, but it's only a fantasy that leaves victims in their wake. With that said, that opened my eyes to a world of humanity, invisible world of harm that unless you have spiritual eyes that are able to see, you'll never really be able to identify, and you'll just end up on the rubbish heap like an abused doll or an abused toy that didn't know what was happening to it, like a toy with a smile on its face. Once it's finished with and it gets chucked in the garbage bin, it's still got the smile on its face. But unfortunately, when you're on the end of a narcissist and they really make it difficult, which they do, it soon wipes the smile off your face, believe me. And in my last relationship, as much as I look forward to seeing her, the smile was gone from my face because I knew there were issues that were working against the relationship and people, because this one was a triangulation situation, which she bought into as well. She turned up for the relationship, but she didn't turn up for the resolve, which is how triangulation works. It works against the unity of the relationship through a third party, and the partner that you're with will try and split themselves and try and keep everyone happy, which is an impossibility. It's an absolute impossibility, because if you've got any sense or awareness about yourself, you'll understand that the person that you're with is trying to keep 2 people happy in an intimate dimension, which is not what we're designed to do or accept if we're with one of these people. Now, these people are not uncommon. They're right throughout throughout our communities, and these are part of the reason why people are on drugs, alcohol, medications, are suffering physical ailments and mental ailments, from headaches to crippling bodily pain and whatnot, because the dysfunction that they have going on towards the people that they're with do have real-life impacts, negative medical, psychological impacts. And whilst you're trying to build a relationship and have harmony and peace and togetherness and intimacy and all the rest of it, you've got these people that have intimately enmeshed with friends or family members usually in such a way that there's an element of control from the family member or the friend that's obviously at work towards the person that you're with. And this is a severe intrusion. It's an attack on the privacy of the relationship. And if the person that you're with relinquishes to this, and they'll do it in a passive-aggressive way, it's going to violate your morals and integrity towards how a relationship should work. Because there shouldn't be interferers. There shouldn't be third parties involved in a private, intimate relationship. But these people do that. And they allow these people to have impacts, negative impacts on the relationship. Now, what do you mean by that? Well, this person in the family might give permission to the parent to have that partner because it suits them, but they probably don't even know who you are, what you've done, where you've come from, why you are where you are, and what you're doing with their mother. And so right from the get-go, these people are running to some percentage, the decisions that are being made by the person that you're with, but you may not be aware of it. You're not a fly on the wall. They keep a safe distance so that you don't become aware of the influence and the impact they're having on the relationship from behind. Now, this buys into the triangulation, strangulation scenario, because now the person that you're with is conceding to the control and manipulation of the adult child or mother or whatever the combination is. They're indirectly having a say in the relationship and whatnot. They're actually, some kind of way giving permission for the relationship to happen, or no permission. I've seen conflicts where the woman will keep coming to see me, but the children, by way of delusion and trying to just cause a separation, are absolutely objecting to it and causing all sorts of conflict in the background, but you'll never know. Conflict unprecedented to probably what the parent or the lady that you're with or man that you're with has ever seen before. Infantile behaviour by adults that would make the mind boggle. But because they've seen the light, they've seen some hope in you, they've seen that there's a possibility for some peace and happiness, stability, serenity and normality, they try and take a little run from it away from the people that they're enmeshed with within the family, be it adult children or if it's an elder child, a parent, excuse me. And these people will make it hell for them. So while the person that you're with seeing that there's an opportunity for you and them to have a happy, steadfast, healthy relationship, because it doesn't suit the enmeshed family member, and this is part of the problem. This problem has been caused partly and mostly by the person that you're with, because they've surrogated and used as a therapist and intimate, emotionally intimate partner, the child or the adult. Well, now that the direction of that intimacy has changed away from the illegitimate family member that's brought into the enmeshment, the covert emotional incest, it's going to rustle feathers, because that person's going to feel like, well, that person's going to experience abandonment and rejection in their psyche, because now that energy and that intimacy is being steered towards somebody outside the family. And they'll probably think, well, they haven't, put up with this person for all these years, and I've done this and I've done that, and now you think you're going to come along and just have a relationship with Mum or with Johnny or Sally or Eddie or Mabel, whatever it is. And these people become hostile over a period of time. It could be 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, it could be immediate. Some people just aren't going to accept outsiders because they know they're going to lose their enmeshment supply, their intimate enmeshment supply, because covert emotional incest is a sexless relationship. It's everything but the sex. And so when one of these family members meets somebody and they can start to build or try to build a proper healthy relationship, then you're going to see all sorts of opposition, vandalism, abuse, and sabotaging behaviour that you possibly may never ever see again. You won't want to see it again, I can assure you of that. And particularly if you're not aware of how all this works, you're not going to know if you're coming or going. But the first signs of it are hostility towards you. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes, the battles that are going on behind the scenes, where your partner's opposing and then giving into the control and manipulation of these people. And to save you years of trouble, the only answer you have is to get out. You've got to leave the relationship. Because the enmeshment's a DNA woven enmeshment, which is unbreakable. It's been corrupted. The files are corrupted. They have a virus called covert emotional incest, and it's almost impossible to break.